Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Meeshan waa Manka Media Channel. Meeshan waxa ugu danaynaynaa ardada wax barato dalka Kenya. Sida ognahay arday badan ay dhigato iskuulaha sare kuwaas oo u baahan set books. Marka waxaan igu baahinayaa inaad ka faa'iideysatiin maadaama uu lacag niga gadneen lacag ahayn marka ka faa'iideysta anagana waxaan niga raadinayna waa hal subscribe wax weyn niga ma raadinayno macallinna ni keenay wax ina ka faa'iideysatiin rabnaa marka inigina waa ni danayne anagana noo daneeya hal subscribe wax weyn nima joogo marka lacagna kaama gadno waxa gadanaysana ma aha marka adoo gurigaaga joogan ka daawanaysa maxaan leeyahay chapterka labaad hadda la bilaabaya kusoo dhawaada chapter 2 Master Felix Geza.
Karibuni kwa uchambuzi wa sura ya pili ya riwaya Chozi la Heri. Na sura hii matukio ni katika kambi ya msitu wa Mamba. That's the setting. Na msitu wa Mamba is a refugee camp. And the refugee camp came up as a result of election violence which happened in chapter 1 because a woman is the one who was elected into power against the expectations of the locals. Now when this woman by the name Mwekevu was elected, all the foreigners were blamed to be the reason as to why this woman won this election. And the locals, such as Rida, they were being attacked. They were the target of the locals. They were being attacked. Their property was destroyed. We saw Rida's family was burnt, and he had to run to a secure place. Now, katika hii kambi ya msitu wa Mamba, it is early in the morning. In this camp, we have very many people. Among them, we have those who are rich, those who are poor, even the middle class. It is very early in the morning. The person who is narrating the situation that happened in the entire country ni Kaizari. Kaizari ni Mwamu, Mwamu wa Rida. Mwamu means a brother-in-law. Kaizari's wife is called Subira. Subira is a sister to Rida. So that's how they are related. They are brother-in-laws. And remember, Kaizari was a local. A local has become a refugee because he is blamed to have married a foreigner. The wife, Subira, is a foreigner. So when election violence broke up, his wife was stabbed. We are going to see what happened because he married a foreigner, and it's believed that these foreigners are the ones who voted for this lady Mwekevu. Mwekevu ni jina la kimajazi kumaanisha wekeza. Wekeza means to invest. So this is a lady who was investing in the locals, who was investing even in the foreigners in this country, knowing that one day she will vie for election and she will be elected. For example, she brought water to the locals, those who were staying in arid land, and that's why they chose her as a leader. Now, katika hii kambi ya msitu wa Mamba ni asubuhi, mzungumzaji ambaye ni Kaizari anasema kwamba there is a kind of equality, and the kind of equality that is in this camp, that as he is talking, he is struggling for food with a guy who was once a minister of finance. So we can see a guy who was once a minister of finance in his own country, he is also a refugee, ni mkimbizi. Kwa hivyo pale ni mbinu ya kinaya, hatutarajii aliyekuwa waziri kuwa mkimbizi. A whole minister being a refugee, that is an irony. Na chakula ambacho alikuwa anang'ang'ania si chakula tu chenye hadhi ya juu, ni uji, just simple porridge. Kaizari baada ya kuchukua ule uji anarejea kwenye nyumba yake. Kumbuka the houses were poorly constructed, the walls were covered with mud, then the roofs were grass thatched. Mapaa yalikuwa yameezekwa kwa nyasi. Anapokuwa katika chumba chake ni asubuhi. It is very early in the morning. The weather changes in the sky. The cloud starts forming, coming together. Kisha tunaelezwa kwamba mawingu yalikaribiana na kupigana mabusu. Mawingu kupigana mabusu ni uhuishaji, mbinu ya uhandishi ambayo huitwa uhuishaji. Uhuishaji is what we call personification. The clouds have been given the ability to kiss. yanapopigana mabusu yanaangusha matone baridi. It started raining that morning. It actually rains in the morning, but it is very rare to rain in the morning, but it happened that that morning there was rain. As it was raining, Kaizari was in his house together with the two daughters, Lime na Mwanaheri. Lime na Mwanaheri and his wife Subira. They were in the house. Now it happened that when it was raining, Kaizari's daughters Lime na Mwanaheri, they were being rained on. Na Kaizari anasema kwamba he says that he doesn't have anything to do. He cannot protect his daughters from being rained on. The only thing that he can do is to thank God that he is alive. Kuna mbinu ya jazanda, that is symbolism actually, and this symbolism is being portrayed by this rainfall. The two daughters, they were suffering by that time together with the father. Their parents, they are in the house, but they are being rained on. This rain that was raining on Lime na Mwanaheri, it was a symbol of good life ahead. No matter the sufferings that they were going through that time, one day they will lead a good life and they will enjoy life. Kwa hivyo ilikuwa ishara ya maisha mema baadaye. Kisha tunaelezwa Kaizari anasema kwamba watu kusema kwamba the only thing people say, according to Kaizari, that the only thing that brings equality is death. But he's saying that actually even death does not bring equality. He's saying that we have some people, for example, in villages, they die in local hospitals in the villages, being treated by medicine men in the villages, and they are being surrounded by their poor relatives who cannot even afford a syringe to inject this guy or their patients some medicine. We are also told that when these people they die, we have some rich people, when they die, they are taken to very expensive hospitals. They are treated by highly trained doctors. When these people they die, when the rich they die, their families they spend a lot of money in burying them. The coffins which they bury them, they are buried in very expensive suits. But when a poor man dies in villages, the family has nothing to spend on him or on her, so they end up spending nothing. So actually there is no equality even in death. Vile vile tunaelezwa kwamba the only thing, according to Kaizari, the only thing that brings equality, that whether you are rich or you are poor, we will all die and we will face judgment by God. Kwa hivyo sote tunahojiwa na munkari moja. Being judged by God when we die, that is the only thing that brings equality. Naam, Kaizari anapokuwa katika nyumba yake, kwa umbali from afar, he can see his brother-in-law ambaye ni Ridhaa. Kuna mbinu ya sadfa, that is a coincidence. It is a coincidence that Ridhaa was in this camp. At the same time, Kaizari was also in this camp. Now, from a distance, Kaizari could tell that his brother-in-law was eating leaves and roots from trees, meaning that this guy was very hungry. Ridhaa was very hungry and he had no food. That's why he had to go and eat roots. Kwa hivyo pale kuna maudhui ya njaa. There is theme of hunger. This guy was very hungry and he had no food. That's why he could feed on the leaves and on the trees. So Kaizari went and approached Ridhaa. Now he started narrating to Ridhaa what happened in the country, as if Ridhaa had not known what happened in the country. But according to Kaizari, he narrated to him knowing that he is not only narrating to Ridhaa, but he is narrating to the future generations of this country, inchi ya uhafidhina. Anaeleza kwamba the problem started when this woman was sworn into power. People who lived together for very many years, regardless of the communities they came from, regardless of religious background, but these people were living together for very many years, for even a century. But they came to be divided when a woman was sworn into power. Now, the locals were attacking the foreigners, blaming them to have been the ones who elected this woman. When violence erupted, the government sent in police officers to come and calm down the situation. And the police officers, of course, when they go to calm down the situation, they will go armed. Some of them will have guns, some of them they will have tear gas. So there was total violence in this country. Very many people were killed, even livestock were killed, property were destroyed. Now, one day, when election violence was going on, Kaisari was in his house. He was watching news in the television. By that time, he had not come in the camp. He was still in his original homeland together with his wife. He could not go out because of violence. So he was watching a TV. There is a group of young boys who were demonstrating, who were the perpetrators of this violence. There is one boy who had dressed in a t-shirt, a written hitman on the back. Now, a hitman is somebody who is hired to execute a plan. For example, when you want to kill somebody and you don't have that courage to kill, you can hire a person to go and kill that person that you want. So the person who kills is what you call a hitman. Now, a hitman was carrying a petrol bomb in a bottle, and he was actually giving out the reason as to why he should kill. He's talking about the politicians promising them jobs when they elected them. He's promising that some politicians, they even come to them on grassroots telling them that the youth should be entrepreneurs. Wajasiriamali is what we call entrepreneurs. And these youth, some of them, they don't even have capital to start this business. Some of the politicians, they even come telling these youth that they should be farmers. When these youths want to be farmers, the only land which they can cultivate their crops on has already been grabbed by these politicians. Kwa hivyo pale kuna maudhui ya unyakuzi wa ardhi, land grabbing. When these youths complain that they don't have land where they can cultivate crops, they are being blindfolded that we are going to carry out investigation, we are going to carry out commission of inquiry, tume za uchunguzi, to investigate who grabbed land that belongs to somebody. But later on, the report of these commissions, they are not given to local mananchi. So a hitman was actually complaining. Then after, in his complaint, we can also see that even we local citizens, sometimes we help these rich politicians to ascend into power and deny us our rights. For example, he's saying that during election violence, an old woman who is illiterate, she doesn't know how to read and write. This old woman comes, she wants to vote. That we can also realize is that the fourth day when Kaisari was in his house watching news, we had some youths who came in his house. They knocked. It is his wife Rida, Subira, who went to open the door. When Subira opened the door, she was slapped. Tunaeleza kwamba alisalimiwa kwa kofi. Kusalimiwa kwa kofi ni hiyo ni kejeli, sio kejeli, ni kinaya. That's an irony. Hicho ni kinaya. Now, there is a group of 5 boys who entered the house. They asked her, wapi huyo kijana jume chako kijoga? Tunasikia kwamba ndio wale waliotusaliti, saying that as for me and my family, we will support our mother. Before Subira could answer anything, she was stabbed twice. Then she fell down. She was bleeding heavily. When Kaisari saw this, he wanted actually to protect the family from attack from these boys, but he could not fight 5 boys who are heavily armed with knives. So the boys did not touch him in any way. They went where the 2 daughters were, Lime na Mwanaheri, and they raped the 2 daughters as the father was watching. Kwa hivyo pale kuna maudhui ya ubakaji, vile vile ni ukatili, being inhuman. These boys, they are raping the 2 daughters in turn as the father was watching. Now, after they had done whatever they wanted, the 5 boys went away. Immediately, the neighbor came in by the name Tulia. She told Kaisari that he should pack and leave his home if he really wants to live and he cares for the safety of the family. Kaisari carried the 2 daughters on his shoulders. The neighbor carried the wife to the junction. Then Kaisari boarded a bus. They traveled for very long distances. It reached a time the bus ran short of petrol at the middle of the forest and the driver had no option. So that evening they slept hungry, walikula mate. Wakaingia msituni, wakaanza kukata miti. They started cutting down the trees. The following day they constructed some simple houses. Now this forest is what was converted into a refugee camp by the name Msitu wa Mamba. Now one of the problems that they encountered in this camp, there was scarcity of latrines. They were to go to the bush to ease themselves. The other problem, there was lack of fresh water to drink. It happened that out of God's wish, there was a river that was flowing across this camp. And this river was called Mto wa Mamba. So they started taking this water even though the water was dirty. In the event, they contracted typhoid. Some of them started dying because of typhoid. So a good number of children as well, they died because of cholera, kipindupindu, na vile vile njaa, hunger. Now, Kaizari, together with this guy who was once a minister of finance, they talked to these refugees in this camp. Then they started digging some simple latrines. So we can say that a problem of latrines was solved, but a problem of hunger and overcrowding in this camp, poor houses in the camp, we could see that Kaizari was being rained on, yet he was in his house. We could also see that in this camp, there was actually a good number of people who had no food. Now, Selume one day came to Kaizari's house. Na Selume ni yule mke wa Mwanzi. Mwanzi is this guy who was a competitor of Mwekevu. Na Mwanzi ni jina la kimajazi kumaanisha chanzo, the origin. And this guy is the origin of violence in this country. It is because when election results were announced, he did not concede defeat. But he told his supporters that actually our victory has been denied. And he told his supporters to demonstrate. So Selume had been divorced by the husband because it is believed Selume did not vote for the husband. She voted for this lady Mwekevu. So we can see that there is betrayal. This lady Selume betrayed the husband by not voting for him but voted for the opponent. So she was divorced on those grounds. So Selume came to Kaizari's house. She heard some news in form of rumors, and the rumors is that she overheard that we had some humanitarian organization, mashirika ya kijamii, together with the mosques and the churches. They had contributed some foods which they wanted to come and distribute in this camp. So these people, they sat in this camp anxiously waiting to see if there is a lorry or anybody who will come in this camp to bring food. They waited the 15th day, the 16th day, 17th, 18th, 19th, the 20th day. There is a very big lorry. It was written, nilikuwa na njaa ukanilisha. This lorry was heavily packed with sacks. We had some young children who were playing naked, full naked or half naked outside in the camp. When this lorry came in, these children ran away to go and hide. Now, there is a guy who was dressed in a religious regalia kama vile kanzu. He came out of the lorry and greeted these people. Peace be with you. Then he translated, amani iwe nanyi. Very few could answer back, iwe nanyi pia. There is a group of women who accompanied this lorry. Some of them, they were dressed in hijabs written Ansar Mwangaza. We had the Christian women wale walikuwa wamevalia kanga zimeandikwa CWA. CWA means Christian Women or Catholic Women Association. Kuna wale ambao, there is a certain lady who had dressed kwa kitambaa, amefunga kinaitwa Women's Guild. Now they told these people in the camp to make a straight queue, then food was being distributed according to the number of families that you have. There is a guy, because of struggle, they were struggling because they were hungry. There is a guy who was dressed in a police uniform, and this guy told them to be orderly. They started abusing him. Where was he when their shops were being burnt before they came to this camp? This guy, the police officers, when he saw that the abuses was too much for him, he calmed down and food was being distributed. Kaizari was called in to help, as well as Selume. And we are told there is a guy who was once a councillor, Diwani, by the name Bwanakute. This guy registered that he had 3 families, and yet he was given a share of 3 families yet he had 1 family. Kwa hivyo pale kuna maudhui ya ulaghai. Bwana Kuti akalaghai chakula, akapewa mgao wa watu wa familia 3 badala ya familia moja. Kwa hivyo hayo ndio matukio